The rain had been falling all day in the small town of Maplewood, washing the streets clean and leaving the sidewalks glistening under the dim glow of the street lamps. Inside the warm, cozy Maplewood diner, life carried on as usual. The hiss of the coffee machine, the sound of silverware clinking against plates, and the low hum of conversation filled the air. For most people, it was an ordinary evening, but for Clara Thompson, a young waitress working the late shift, this night would become a turning point she would never forget. Clara wasn't new to hard work. She had been working double shifts at the diner for months to save enough money for college. She had dreams of becoming a teacher, of helping children who had grown up the way she did, poor, unnoticed, and struggling. With her kind smile and endless patience, she was loved by most of the regulars. But that night, something unusual happened. Something she couldn't ignore. Around 8:30 p.m., as she carried a tray full of steaming burgers and fries, she stopped in her tracks. Amid the chatter and clatter, she heard a faint cry. At first, she thought it was the radio playing in the kitchen. But then it came again, a soft, trembling sob, like that of a child. Clara's brow furrowed. She glanced at the customers. Nobody else seemed to notice. Her heart started to race. She set the tray down and excused herself. Pushing open the swinging kitchen door, she stepped inside. The cook, Mr. Johnson, was busy at the grill, while one of the dishwashers whistled as he stacked plates. Everything looked normal, but Clara heard it again, the cry, faint but unmistakable, coming from the back. She followed the sound to the pantry door, her palms sweaty. Slowly, she reached for the handle and opened it. Her breath caught. Huddled in the corner of the dark pantry was a little boy, no older than 7. His clothes were dirty and torn, his shoes too small, his eyes red from crying. He clutched a worn-out backpack tightly to his chest, as if it was the only thing keeping him safe. Clara knelt down gently. "Hey, sweetheart, it's okay. What are you doing here?" The boy looked up, terrified. "Please, don't tell anyone. They'll take me back," he whispered. Before Clara could respond, heavy footsteps approached. The cook, Mr. Johnson, appeared behind her. His face turned pale when he saw the boy. "Clara, get out of here," he snapped. "That's none of your business." His tone was sharp, almost threatening. Clara's instincts kicked in. She stepped in front of the boy protectively. "Who is he? What's going on?" she demanded. The boy shrank back, hiding behind Clara. That small action told her everything she needed to know. He was afraid of the cook. The rest of her shift passed in a blur. But Clara couldn't shake the image of the trembling boy. After the diner closed and everyone left, she made a choice. She picked up her phone and called the police anonymously. Her voice shook as she told them what she had seen. Within the hour, officers quietly arrived and questioned the staff. When they opened the pantry again, the boy was still there, and soon, the truth spilled out. The child wasn't just lost. He had been missing for nearly 3 months. His photo had been on posters across the state. His parents had been desperately searching for him, and Mr. Johnson, the cook Clara had trusted for years, was involved in keeping him hidden. The entire town was stunned. News spread quickly. Reporters swarmed the diner. Neighbors whispered in disbelief. How could such a dark secret exist in their small-town diner? And how had no one noticed? But Clara knew why. Because no one had been listening closely enough. She had, and that made all the difference. When the boy was reunited with his parents, the reunion was so emotional that even the officers had tears in their eyes. His mother clutched him tightly, sobbing into his hair. His father whispered over and over, "We thought we lost you." The entire town watched as the family was made whole again. Days later, the boy's parents came back to the diner to find Clara. They walked up to her, tears streaming down their faces, and hugged her as if she were family. "You saved our son," his mother said, voice trembling. "You didn't just change his life, you saved ours too." Clara's eyes filled with tears. She had only done what her heart told her was right. But to the boy and his family, she was a hero. The town never forgot her bravery. For months, her story was told again and again. A young waitress, living paycheck to paycheck, had saved a missing child by simply listening to a cry no one else heard. And perhaps that's the real lesson. Sometimes the smallest sounds carry the loudest truths. Sometimes the simplest act of courage exposes the deepest secrets. And sometimes, the most ordinary person becomes the hero the world desperately needs. So dear viewer, remember this: if you ever hear a cry for help, don't ignore it, because one moment of courage can change a life, and maybe even save one.